Today we are going to do something very special to the body of the veil. We're going to crystallize it, and we're going to also pearlize it. What that means is we're going to put tiny little crystals throughout the body of the illusion netting and tiny little pearls just to add another layer of interest to the veil. And also it just adds that opulence, that beautiful opulence that we're looking for when we're looking at a high-end veil or a high-end piece that we're making. So for this tutorial, you will need a veil. And if you haven't done it yet, I recommend that you go over to how to measure up. And then after you're done with how to measure up and you know how to measure your veil, go over to don't use scissors. And there you'll learn how to cut your veil. And then come back here and you can then crystallize it. If you want to also put an edge on it, we have lots of tutorials for that. But right now we're going to focus on crystallizing and pearlizing your veil. The supplies you're going to need will be your veil. And that is, it can be completely trimmed. It could have the lace on it and everything, but don't gather yet. Because what we want to do is we're going to lay this out on the table, and I'm going to show you how to do this, but that's how you cast your pearls and your crystals throughout your veil. Second, you're going to find some beautiful little embellishments, but I want to share with you the very finest of what I know, okay? And that is Swarovski. Swarovski crystals are incredible, and that's what I'm going to be using in this tutorial. And I'm using the SS9. And this is a very beautiful, tiny little crystal that we're going to make sparkle from the front and the back. So stay tuned for that. That's one of my quick tips. So I get Swarovski on eBay. I used to do it through an actual company, but now I don't need large quantities. So eBay is really great. And you'll get these little packages, and in this is going to be 1,440 little tiny flat back crystals. You do not want hot fixed, you want flat back. And so this little package of wonderful beautifulness is sparkly treasures right here. You can also find the little flat back packages, and here you have flat back pearls, and these are great. This one is a 3.5 mm, and that's what we're going to be using in our tutorial today. At Michael's, I found that they had packs of flat back rhinestones, and they are absolutely stunning. They're not going to have that same sparkle as a Swarovski, but nonetheless, they looked beautiful. And I would say those would do just fine, especially when you're practicing and you're playing around. I wouldn't necessarily use the Swarovski for that. Once you have it down, I recommend you definitely invest in Swarovski if you're going to be selling your veils, because that's going to be the next level. You want your veil to be opulent. You want it to be the best out there. Swarovski will be what you need. And then you're going to need some glue. Now, I have a little bottle of glue that I fill up with my big bottle. And the reason I use a little bottle, I will explain in the demo. And then you're going to need some tweezers, and then we're going to dive in and we are going to make our veil even more beautiful. All right, let's get started. All right, I'm at the table and I'm using a fingertip that we did in the Let's Get Edgy with ribbon. And this is just ready to go. It's ready to be embellished, and that's what we're about to do. I have a couple of different things that I thought would look beautiful. So I wanted to show you what I use is Swarovski. So this is a flat back crystal, and this is a Swarovski flat back crystal, and they come in all different beautiful colors. And see, that's a flat back. You don't want hot fixed, you want just basic flat back crystal. All right, and then we have, these are AB flat back crystals. They're so pretty because they have that aurora borealis. So you see a little pops of pink. So for this veil, however, I'm going to do pearls today. And I got these also at Michael's, and I'm not an affiliate. And they look so lovely. I want to show you the glue that I use, even though I'm not an affiliate with them. It's important that you know the right tools. Fabric-Tac is one of the best. It's also one of those that can get on your clothes. It's a permanent fabric adhesive. So you need to be careful. What I do is I buy the small bottle, and this becomes my tool, and this becomes the filler. So when this goes low, I fill this up. That's how I do some of my small hand work, like putting crystals on a veil. Because sometimes when this guy is maybe even half full, it takes forever for it to get down. And a lot of times you'll see I'll have a little mason jar here with this upside down. And then there's a potential for it to kind of come out a little too fast because there's so much in there. This, however, allows me to manage the flow a lot easier. It's more expensive to get the small one, but look at it as a tool. And now I'm going to show you how I do my crystals and why I double side them. So when you look at my crystals, you'll notice that both sides are covered. My pearls, same thing. And it's kind of cool when you double-sided pearl because it looks like a pearl is coming through the netting. Let's see if we can catch that. It looks like it's suspended in there. Isn't that cool? Why I do that? That's a great question. The reason I do that is as the bride is approaching the groom, typically if you do the crystals without double-sided crystals, then the groom gets the flat back side with the glue. That doesn't look very nice, and he doesn't get the sparkle. I think the groom should get the sparkle, and I think the groom should get the pearls, just like the guest. As she approaches the groom, she's sparkling for the groom and she's sparkling for the guest. Exciting. So I'm going to show you how to do your flat back crystals. Again, I showed you the flat back side, and I'm going to do it with pearls. I think it would be easier to see. The process for doing crystals is the same as doing pearl. I'm going to just begin to show you how to do this. And before I start, I want to show you on this little piece of fabric. All right, so what you do is you put your pearl down, and I'm going to show you how to do this on this veil here in a minute. So you lay your pearl down or your crystal so that you can see the flat back side. And with your smaller bottle, you're now going to go and you're going to hold it steady. My hand has to go here. If I don't hold it, it moves. And with my hand holding it down, I gently, very carefully get a tiny bead of the glue, and I mean tiny. If you get a little tail like this, don't worry. Get a little pair of tweezers and then gently grab it here where it gets too dry and pull it off. Easy peasy. All right, so now you got a little bit of the glue on there. And now you're gonna take your crystal or your pearl and you're gonna lay it over the top. And with your handy dandy tool here, you're gonna go back and you're gonna just tap it on until it is perfectly centered. Now your pearl is suspended in time. Let's do it with the crystal too, real quick. I put the crystal down, and this is much smaller. And then I go ahead and dab with some glue. Again, a very small bit. And if you get a tail, there's a tail right there on that glue, just pull it up. Grab my crystal. And sometimes what I do, because my hand is holding, I'll put the crystal on my hand to straighten it out. And then I'll go and lay it down. And you can take your little tweezers and then line it back up. Just like that. All right, so now let's go ahead and cast this throughout this veil. Okay, so here we are. This is the right side of the veil. Make sure when you're doing this that you are doing it with the ribbon side up, just for your own orientation, so I know what side's which side. That doesn't matter because you're double facing them, but still, I always start with the ribbon side up. And I'm going to show you just a portion. I'm not going to bore you with the entire veil, but I want to show you how I scattered them. All right, so what you don't want to do is to line your pearls or your crystals in a nice line. That right there is not what we want to do. Each one of those should be scattered. Place it so that it looks like it's been scattered naturally. And how we're going to do that is I'm going to start in this little corner here. I usually start at the top. You want to keep in mind where you're going to gather your comb. You're going to lose probably about 3/4 of an inch. Actually, you'll probably lose 1 inch. So you want to make sure your pearl or your crystal is a little bit further down from that. And again, we're not being precise. We're just saying don't go up close to that because it'll get all gathered and you won't see it. The other important thing you want to do is before you even start, I iron my veils. And you do that on the nylon setting. You do it with steam. And sometimes I'll even have a little squirt bottle of water just to keep it going, because the worst crease is the crease that was folded, on the bolt. And that one you're going to have to iron both sides very slowly and it will come out. You just have to take your time. But once you put your pearls and your crystals on the netting, you can't iron it. You can steam it, but you can't iron it. The other important thing is you do not use hot glue. Hot glue will actually melt this netting. So do not ever in millinery, I do not use hot glue. I only use the Fabric-Tac. And now I'm starting in this corner, keeping in mind the gather. And I'm going to start right here, and you place it down so that the flat side is up, just like I showed you in the little sample. And to keep my netting from sliding all around, because it's very slick, I have these little washers that I've spray painted. I scrubbed them really good and put rust removal on them, and then I spray painted them. So this will help keep my netting down. Especially when you're doing the cathedral, it's so big, it slides off and then you get glue everywhere. And now with that one pearl there, I'm going to now put my little dab of glue. I got a glue bubble, pop it, remove it. All right, so I'm going to hold it down, my fingers, dab that very small bit of glue. Remember that tail is coming off that glue. Just wrap it like that. Get your pearl, get your little tweezers to center it. Now you have your first pearl. Doesn't that look beautiful? So from there, I would likely put one about right here. I don't want them to be too close together. I don't want them to be too uniformed. And again, I'm going to put a little dab of glue. That tail, I didn't get a tail that time, but if you get a tail, just whip it up like that and you should be good. Get your pearl, straighten it out on your hand. They're so hard to work with, but you know, in the end, it looks so good. Worth the work. All right, so now we have 2 pearls. Now I'm going to move the veil up a little bit. And we have one here, we have one here. So now we're going to stick one, I think my eye is seeing one here. So we're not in line with this one. We're not in line with that one. We're now going to a new destination. Again, going under, putting the glue on. I didn't get a tail there. Put that on. I always put my tools everywhere, so I'm like hunting them down and then get that all positioned just right. So the next one I'm going to do, and I am systematic about how I do it. I'm just not going to make it look like it's perfect. All right, so I would like another one on the edge here. So I may just take and put one a little off-centered from this one. So it is nice to do it on a grid so you can see that you're not lining up. So up there, all right, so we have that one up here, and I would like to put another one on the edge. And so because I'm doing it on a grid, I can see the line is for if I was to put another pearl on exactly there, which we do not want to line them up. I'm going to take the next pearl on the edge and I'm just going to go over slightly. I don't want it to be too close to this one. So I'm going to take it. So I'm going to take it so that it's not on this line. And now I'm going to put it right here. So it's far enough away. We got a guy that moved. Just pop them back on. So I'm going to put one about right here. And voila. So now you have a pearl there, a pearl up there. And we're just going to keep on going. All right, so we have one here. So I'm not going to go straight across. I'm going to go off center, but I don't want to go across from this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go slightly down and go about right here. There really is not any right or wrong way. I just don't think it looks good. If you line them up, it just looks too perfect. All right, so this is good that you see this. I landed pearl on top of the glue. This is no longer going to work because that glue will ruin the veneer of that and it won't be shiny. Go ahead and take it off. Put another one on. Like that. All right, so you can kind of see where we're at. We've got a pearl here. We've got a pearl here and a pearl here. And so we're starting to look very scattered. I wanted to show it to you. Look at that. When you pull it up, you can see those beautiful pearls, and your crystals would be the same. They're just going to be out. And again, I use the pearls so that you kind of get an idea. It's easier to see them. That lovely? Yep. All right, keep working on your veil. And I just thought it would be pretty to show you. Here they are cast throughout, and you can see how random it looks. Everything isn't perfectly lined up. You can kind of get that when you fold it. You know, it's so pretty. Look at all the pop of beautiful crystals. It's just so lovely. I love it. This makes me happy. So what do you think, veil makers? That right there is something that is going to take your veil making to the next level. Being able to cast pearls and crystals throughout the body of an illusion veil is everything. It's so beautiful, right? All right, so I used our finished veil from the demo, Let's Get Edgy with Pencil. And this is our silver pencil edge that we did. And I cast the Swarovski throughout this because it just adds that next layer of sparkle. And I love that. And I've already got it ready to go to the shop. It's got its little comb on and it's ready to go. One over here, this is the one we did the pearls. And I'm about to gather this one. And it is so beautiful. The pearls look like they're suspended inside of the netting because we do the double-sided. So you see now, the double-sided aspect gives everybody a piece of that beautiful sparkle or that lovely pearl. So as the bride is walking towards the groom, The guests see the sparkle and the groom also gets the sparkle. That is exciting to me. So coming up, we're going to be doing all about hats. And one of the hats I'm going to start with is a pillbox hat. And this hat right here is the hat we're going to be making. Isn't this beautiful? I'm going to show you how to make all these beautiful little curlicues and all of this. This hat right here was in a beautiful styled shoot, and I can't wait to show you the photos of that. And on the back of this hat is a piece where it comes off like this, and a beautiful silk veil attaches to it. So I cannot wait to show you this. This is what we're going to be doing moving forward. I can't wait to get started on that. I've been working really hard making the patterns and trying to figure all that out because this is new to me, right? This is not something I've done before, is teach you how to do what I do. I just did it. I did the Craftsy, but we only did like 3 little looks. But this is a whole nother ball game, learning how to pattern make for hats. It's been quite an adventure, and I plan on sharing you how I made my patterns too. If I had to guess, your little creative juices will start to flow, and you're going to want to know how to make a pattern. And so I'm going to just show you my process. I picked the simplest path to go down so that it would translate pretty easy to you. Anyway, so I'm super excited. So after you've crystallized your veil and you're ready to gather that, head on over to Let's Gather Together and get that little veil all gathered up, and then head over to Put a Comb on It, and you'll learn how to put that beautiful crystallized veil gathered on a comb, and then you can sell that, wear it, or whatever you desire to do. All right, so thank you, veil makers. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I would love to see any photos, anything that you have created. Please send them my way. I'm here for you, veil makers. Thank you again for stopping in. I'm Dorene Vandermeer, and this is Bridal Veil Secrets Unveiled.